jumped out and hit my car.
Okay, sir, are you injured?
Now, let me tell you. I get out and pick the motherfucking deer up. I thought he's dead. I put the motherfucking deer in my back seat, and I'm driving down the motherfucking road and minding my own business. The motherfucker woke up and bit me in the back of my goddamn neck, and it bit me and it done kicked the shit out of my car. I'm in the motherfucking phone booth. The deer bit me in the neck. A big motherfucking dog came up and bit me in the leg. I hit him with the motherfucking tire iron, and I stabbed him with my knife. So I got a hurt leg, and the motherfucking deer bit me in the neck. And the dog won't let me out of my phone booth because he wants the deer.
Okay, sir, are you injured?
Yeah, my motherfucking deer bit me in the neck. Hold on. The motherfucking dog is biting me. Hold on.
Here we are at another episode 2 of Sofa Talk. Same show, different sofa. Same dude, different sofa. Did I say that? No. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, welcome everyone. And I'm so glad everyone that can make it. I got to move this. It's going to drive me crazy if I leave this here. Halloween is over. Not that I want to think about that, but remnants of the fabulous time we had at the first annual Halloween Hootenanny. That was a good time, and everybody that made it out to the Hootenanny, I'm glad that you could join me for that on Halloween night. And I promise you, well, no, I'm not going to say that. My intention is to do it even better next year. Do it way better next year. Actually, put a little thought and effort into it, and not decide at 11 or 12 p.m. or a.m. 12 a.m. that I was going to do a live stream uh, in an hour or two that was off the cuff and that kind of thing. So my apologies for that, but I still had a good time, and I hope you guys did too. This episode of Sofa Talk is going to, I don't know, touch on some things that have been kind of prevalent for a lot of people, I think, here recently. But also, too, I want to talk about vibration and what it really means to get into the groove, so to speak, like to really get into um, a flow in your life, like a flow that works for you, a flow that is everything that you've been looking for forever, but was really unable to position yourself in. Um, and in many cases, when you find this flow, you may not realize that you had been looking for it forever. I think most of us can relate to it to some degree. We have an idea of what life would look like if everything was working perfectly as it should, or if you had achieved this or attained that, or if this was in place, or if this was a part of your life. All those little things combined would kind of make this ideal image of what you see your life to be or what you'd want it to be. But then I know there are those of us too that maybe, even though we're on a spiritual path and we practice magic, we still have not grasped that concept completely of the aspect that we are creating our own reality, and that we are the ones behind the wheel, and that we can make this an experience really just like we want it to be in many senses of the word. That we're not just victims of circumstance everywhere you look in this world. It's really hard for some people, I guess, to really formulate an image of what their life should look like or what they really want it to look like. It's really easy to get caught up in daily life, and once that happens, it's really easy for 2, 3, 5, 10 years to go by, and you realize that you don't even know what you did in those 10 years. You were basically going with the flow so much that you forgot to stop and take a look around and really be conscious of what's happening, why you're doing what you're doing, what you're trying to move towards. You're just living and surviving, and you're just in your day-to-day life, and it just unfolds as it may. This event happens, this circumstance takes place, and it moves you around kind of like a piece on a game board. And it's easy to get caught up in that and to not stop and think like, hey, I can actually control the game piece myself. I don't need to allow this other hand that's guiding me here and there and everywhere else where it wants to go. I can make that decision and I can start steering the ship. So it's a little bit about that. I think your energetic vibration plays such a big role in how your overall quality of life is, because it affects so many things. I think it affects so much more than we would ever really be cognizant of. Like, and I think I talked about this recently. Like, for example, you all know how communication in this world is like so vitally important. I mean, communication is everything. And even though I just said that and I'll talk about it, am I the best communicator in the world in my personal life? No, I'm definitely not. Is it something that I need to work on a great deal? Yes. Is it the key element in every issue, in every relationship that I have in my life? Probably, yeah. I mean, really, communication is one of those things where you can take just about any issue, any problem, anything, um, any type of disagreement or what have you, and you can trace it back to its core roots of it stemmed from a communication problem. Most of the time, you'll find that in there somewhere, or that's going to be the main focal point there. So we communicate so many things energetically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, to the people around us, to the environment, to spirits, to everything. There's always some interaction and energetic exchange going on. Most of it, of course, we're not cognizant of. But if you think about that we have a primary way that we communicate, which is the way that I'm doing this live stream right now. I'm speaking to you in a tongue that you can understand, in a language that you can make sense of, and you know what the words mean. So you know what my message, my point is that I'm trying to get across, or at least um, the communication method is there for you to be able to do that now, and you're aware of it. Now, of course, there's things in language and both from the spoken word and body language and other things that could be going on that you're not aware of, and there's all kinds of things out there like that. But this energetic communication is something that most of us aren't aware of, that it takes place more often than our primary means of communication does, that we're cognizant of. So just think about how much you talk to people, how much how much time that you spend in communication every day with other people, and just think about the fact that you're communicating energetically to basically everything in the world 10 times more than that every day. So there's a lot of exchange, a lot of communication going on, and your vibration and what you're sending out there is very important because it will affect what you're going to get back from things. It will, in fact, it will affect the environment. It can affect circumstances. It can affect your flow of prosperity overall. It can affect the degree of resistance that you have against you from in your life from the matrix, if you will. Um, and I'll give you a little. It's a story that I don't know. It's something I really didn't want to get into, but it really, I think it, I think it is like a testament to the point that I'm trying to get across in a very real life, practical sense. So I will, elaborate on this, to the best of my ability. I mean, it's not like I'm not trying to, not just like share with all of you, but I don't know. I mean, of course, everybody has things in their lives that you just can't talk about or put out there because of how people take it and misconstrue it and misconstrue it, and gossip and this and that and the other and everything. And this is not even a big deal. It is probably a big deal to me because it involves my personal life. But is it like some kind of bad thing? No, not at all. But I guess it's just like, yeah. I mean, there's certain things and I've been able to achieve through magic, and that's awesome. But I'm not infallible. I'm not perfect. My life is not absolutely perfect. I have challenges and I have obstacles that I have to overcome every single day, just like everybody else does. Put my pants on two legs at a time. I don't do the one leg at a time thing. I don't think actually. I hop in both of the feet and pull them up at the same time. Like, so anyway, thought I'd mention that. Not, we're talking about not wanting to get personal, but I guess I just pick and choose, yeah. But so I've owned a business for 6 years and it's really been great and it's taught me a lot. I've learned a lot. It's been the most insanely difficult thing I've ever done in my life. You're one of them, aside of being a parent. But um, no one that ever goes into business for themselves really knows what the hell they're getting into at all. Most people that go into business for themselves may be a master at their skill or their trade or their craft or what have you. And they love to do that, which is why they go into business for themselves. But most of them, how I was and how I still am to a degree, I mean, I'm certainly not at the level of being able to have like an MBA, or any kind of business degree for that matter. Am I a better businessman than I was 6 years ago? Yes. Um, do I know enough about business in general to be doing what I'm doing? Probably not. Hell no. But if I've been doing it for 6 years and I'm still doing it, yes. Do most people that are in business for themselves know a damn thing about business? Not really. But that's why you have a support team around you, accountants and other people that specialize in certain things to kind of give you guidance and to say you need to do this, you need to do that, or you should do this, should do that, what have you, and things will kind of work out. But um, I I went crazy after I think the third year in business or so. And when I say I went crazy, I freaking went crazy, man. I lost it. Um, in a sense that I just allowed like just the weight and the impact of all the stress. And at that time, I had like 32 employees, I think, and I didn't have a business partner. I had some managers, that were project managers in key positions, but no one that was really like by my side or having my back, really. It was kind of me against 32 people. And that's not the way I want to look at it, but that is how the dynamic plays out when your operation gets to be like that. Is in my case, I had 32 people that were trying to get a piece of me every day, whatever way they could. Um, Whether that was trying to pull some crap over on me, whether that was stealing things from me, whether that was being lazy as hell and not doing anything, but expecting to get paid for it. Whatever they could do to just to get something else from me other than what they were due to receive. And it when you have that many people that are not all of them were doing it. I mean, all of them were doing it to some degree, but in different ways. It just really makes you look at the world differently because it shows you aspects of human nature that you weren't cognizant of up until that point, not in that capacity anyways. And it just really showed me a side of people that I would just rather not be aware of, almost, just because it's just so tough to absorb and to accept, and to it just opens your eyes to the true reality of things that you had this facade that worked for you covering up. Maybe people were like that, but I didn't have to think about it before that, and it didn't really affect me. But then when I was in the position I was in, then it did, and then it was certainly like it was a me against them type of dynamic, and it didn't really matter what approach I took to try to earn respect and to try to get them to do the right things. Um, Things get to a point to where like in business especially, um, there's a saying, it's if you can't change the people, then the solution is to change the people. In that you change them out, you get rid of the ones you have, and you bring in new ones. I mean, there's certainly a point where you just can't right the ship. When a culture gets to be the way it is, when attitudes are the way they are, when things are just so set in their ways, and of course, nobody wants to change because that's working just fine for the 32 of them. It's not working very good for me, but they don't give a crap. But anyhow, so I went kind of crazy and I let depression take over, and I disappeared for, I don't know, 2 years, maybe 3 years almost. And when I say I disappeared, like I was not involved at all. I didn't go to the office. I did not communicate with the people that were in management here, and really didn't care if things were running smoothly or if things were even running. Period. I wanted it to crash and burn. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I wasn't thinking about what the impact of that would be or what that would mean. I was totally somewhere else, where the only thing I cared about was being in my basement by myself and being left alone. And everybody in the world could just get effed, and I like that was it. Don't come to me with this, and don't come to me with that, and don't bother me. just don't bother me. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to do this. And like, I give a F, like about anything. It did. I mean, or myself included. It just, I was at that point. And as much as I wanted it to crash and burn, it just wouldn't. And it hung in there, and I had to keep dealing with it, little bits at a time. If there were things that I really had to deal with, I would do it. But it got to be to where I was away from everyday normal routine life as far as going into my office, doing regular things that you would do in your 8 or 10 or 12 hour workday, whatever it is. I mean, I wasn't doing anything really, doing whatever I wanted to do, doing a lot of things that were really not the best use of my time, sleeping a lot, meditating for 10 hours a day. That doesn't do anybody any freaking good at all. And I can tell you that because I know from real life experience. It can certainly be too much of a good thing. But of course, with me being gone so much, being out of it, the people that were here, started doing what they wanted to do even more. And you can have people with you for 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever, 10 years even. And when you have work relationships like that, and people you think that you're fairly close with, and you tell them things about your lives, they know things about you, you know things about them. You're a family of sorts. But yeah, I guess you really, in some cases, you never really know how deep that runs, or if you're not around, what they might do. They'll smile when they see you to your face, and as soon as you leave, they'll do whatever strikes their fancy. If it means stealing money from you, they're going to do that. If it means not giving a crap about anything they're doing here and what the impact it's going to have on anybody, they don't give a crap. And if it means working a half a day and trying to put 10 hours on the clock, whatever. I mean, hey, I get it. I definitely sent a message that I did not care, and I didn't. And that's nothing that I ever said to them, but they could feel it from my energy. They could also witness it from my actions, and that I never came around or would return their calls or act like they even existed for the most part. But a lot of it was just my the energetic messages that I was putting out there. Um, things did start to get bad, and my energetic resonance, my energy, my vibration, and me being so connected to this business because I created it from nothing. I had a grand idea, and I don't even know how I did it, but I put it together. Found the money, got everything in line, got things rolling. I mean, I started it on my own and out of my garage. And my brother came to work for me like a month after I started. In 2 months, I had 4 or 6 employees, and really, yeah, in 2 months, I was already out of the garage and into an office. And in the first 18 months, we were already bringing in like $1.5 million in revenue. Like the second year, I think we had almost 3 million. Now, it doesn't mean by any means that I'm a millionaire, not even close to it. Most of that money went into operating the business. It wasn't like there was a ton of money left over. That almost 3 million was it took a great effort to get that. So I mean, it was really great. I mean, I was really invested. I was really tied to this. So of course, when I started to uninvolve myself, it started to die. And people were doing some crazy things. And, through my path working with Azazel, I found it within myself. This is something I just have done in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks, I guess. Something like that, 6 weeks to 2 months. But I had removed myself from this business, from that position, that I was terrified to even think about going back to having to do it if I had to or if I needed to, like stepping out into that role as a business owner and having to do the daily grind of what that entails. I mean, of course, yeah, but prior to me going crazy, I had worked my way up to. I mean, it was cushy as hell. I mean, I was not in the field anymore. I was not dealing with job details of any kind. That was none of that was anything in the realm of anything that I had to keep my focus on at all. But that also led to me not focusing on anything because the things that I needed to focus on were things that really sucked, things that are not fun, and things that just really make your head hurt thinking about. Things that people that go into business for themselves do not think about that is what they're going to be doing. They think they're going to be doing that thing they love to do, that thing that they're so good at doing. No, you're never going to do that again at a certain point. Like, it's not even about that. It's about all this crap that you had no idea was involved in business. Like, that's really what business is. Like, business is for people that love business, that understand business, and that they don't have a little handicraft or this or that skill. They like business. They like to balance, like look at the profit and loss sheets and like, like work with the accountant on the numbers and all this stuff that I could give two craps about and is not interested in at all. But that's besides the point. So it got to the point here where I had so many people here that were working against me to such a degree that I had to do some drastic things, and that was to really like clean house. And that was going to mean that a lot of weight and pressure would potentially fall on me. We weren't really, I mean, we were consistent, steady. We weren't like, just so busy that we couldn't keep up with it. I mean, not even close. I mean, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great by any means. So I wasn't like that worried about it, but still having to do anything was going to be a culture shock to me. So I had people stealing from me a lot. I had people lying to me, deceiving me in every way they could. People that I treated very well, people that I took care of, people that I put their needs before mine a million times at least. And there was no appreciation or loyalty for that or anything. It wouldn't have mattered what I did. But I had to get rid of those people. And so I stepped into jumping into it. And, let's see what we can do. Now, as soon as I did that, as soon as I got rid of the negative people, the deceitful people, the evil people, if you will, and their crazy energetic resonance and vibration that was infesting everything that this place is, and like a cancer, it was killing it. As soon as I did that, it was like the freaking floodgates, the doors of opportunity opened bigger than I've ever seen in my life. We got so freaking busy that we had no equipment in the warehouse. I haven't seen that in over 2 years. And that happened in like a week. And I was like, what the F is going on? Like, how am I going to do this? I mean, like, literally, we did like just me and a handful of people generated like $100,000 in revenue in like 5 weeks. I mean, it probably, I mean, it cost me like, I don't know, 10 grand, 15, maybe 15 grand or something like that to generate that revenue. And before, it probably would have cost me freaking 60 or 70 grand to generate that same revenue with the freaking people that I had that weren't doing anything and that were just being a waste of my money and everybody's time and space. But it's just, there's nothing that changed to the potential clients and customers that were calling us. They didn't know those people were gone. They didn't know I was back. There was no change whatsoever, except for the energetic one. That was huge, and of course, I've been doing my Jupiter money right quite a bit. But, magic for my business is really something that I really had never really done because I was convinced that I didn't want it to succeed. I wanted to just get the F out of my face and out of my life and let me figure this out, what else I'm going to do or what. Um, but it is like the wildest thing. I mean, I have never seen anything like this before of how immediate an effect of removing stagnant energy and things that are not working for you in your life, and how that will allow the things that are like your birthright to connect and flow in to your life for you. Like, um there's just no other there's just no other there's just nothing else that I can do to really justify like what happened. I mean, I got rid of the things that were keeping that business from coming in because for whatever reason, people were not inclined to call us. Did they even know why? Probably not. They were getting some kind of signal. They were feeling something. Maybe it could be on a subconscious level, who knows? But all of a sudden, once that was gone and I was back in it, there was a whole different dynamic of vibration and energy that was being projected into the world. And the world, as far as it goes between me and my business, they responded immediately, and it responded in the biggest way that I could ever imagine. Um, it's just been incredible. That's why I've been so tired. I know, you haven't really seen me a lot. And when you have seen me, and probably like right now, I look pretty tired. It's because I've been busy. I've been busy, um, the work that I do for Become a Living God and from the Ashes Publishing, busy doing my own stuff, busy doing this. I mean, I've been like the busiest person that I've always been that way, but not for that period of time when I was in the basement. But it's hard getting back into that. But it's just like I got thrown to the sharks basically, and I was able to swim, and I've been able to make it. And it's like it's just something I had to do. This is something that Azazel was dead set on me coming back. Oh, thank you so much. The super chat. I'm sorry, guys. I've been like just wanting to get through this thing about the business. I haven't been able to pay attention to the chat much. Thank you all so much. Like that is so kind, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Thunderstruck 149. I really appreciate that. It is so kind of you, and it means a lot to me. It really, really does. Thank you. Um, but it's I almost felt like I had literally ruined myself when I went from being, a business owner of this huge company and the best multitasker you could ever imagine, just go, go, go all the time and keeping things straight as much as I could, anyways, more so than a lot of people would be able to. And I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or say I'm better than anybody at all. If you're good at something, you know it. If you do it well, or if you do it exceptionally well, you know it. And that's one thing I did well. I'm not what I used to be, not yet. I don't know if I ever want to be that again because that was part of what made me totally just do a total 180 and crumble into nothing from being overly stressed and manipulated daily and just beaten down and chewed up and spit out. I just don't know that I ever want to be that again. I definitely don't. I don't. I definitely don't. And I've already learned that. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently this time. I'm going to do things the smart way. I'm going to do a lot more on my own. I had gotten to the point with having 32 employees that I didn't do much of anything for myself anymore. You had people that do this and people that do that, and this person does that, and this girl does that. And it's like you get to the point where you're like, and I think I've talked about this before, but for those of you that have missed it, I mean, I got so bad, I was like, hey, will you check my email for me and let me know if anybody emailed me? And if you tell me, like, so they know if they're like, hey, yeah, this so and so insurance adjuster emailed you. What do you say? Oh, that and that and that. All right, type this for me and send it to them. Like, you won't even do that yourself. So you start to digress at such a rapid rate, you don't even see it. You start to become incapable of doing things that you used to be able to do in your sleep because you just stopped doing it. You stop being active, and it's like your mind slows down, your motivation goes into the gutter. You just, you don't want to do anything. But the beauty of it is in the position you don't have to really do anything. Well, that not having to do anything, you little do you know, is very temporary because it is not going to last forever if that is what you're going to do. You have got to continue to invest your time and attention and energy into things, or they will wither and die. I don't care what it is. If it belongs to you, you are the only one that is going to care for it and care about it to the degree that it takes to sustain it. Nobody else is. They can act like they are and they can act like they do, but it's not going to be true. Um, so that's something to consider. Um, so that has been just huge for me. Like, I had to like reclaim myself as a man, as a regular human being that does what people do. Um, I really thought that I was incapable of getting back into regular life and doing that. I didn't do that for so long. I didn't have to get up in the morning. I didn't have to do anything that I didn't want to do. I didn't have to be anywhere at a certain time. I mean, yeah, there was probably meetings and crap that I should have been at certain times and all that, but psh. So yeah, that's if you let yourself go too far, it is really tough to reel yourself back in. But I will tell you, it is definitely possible, and your everything about who your former self was has muscle memory. Like you will come back, your old self will come back. You will basically be reborn, but the things you used to be able to do, you'll be able to do. You thought you'd be terrified to do this, that, and the other, and you find out that nope, you can do it just like you used to. And now you have some even better qualities to add to it, and maybe you've gotten rid of some of the bull crap that you didn't need from before. And another thing that I want to segue into, I had done all of this while looking like this. And this is the thing where, I'm in people's homes, I'm in their businesses, I'm intimately involved in their life for a period of time. They don't have to go with me, they can get anybody they want. But I have been able to do better than I've ever done looking about as unorthodox as you could imagine in regards to somebody that is going to be doing what I do for someone, knocking on their door and saying, hey. And I think that's another invaluable lesson that I've learned through this whole thing. It's this is okay. I'm not going to say, nobody, please never, I want to ask me who this is from, because I'm not going to talk about it. Um, some people probably know who it is, or they know who this person is, but I'm not going to give you any hints, and I'm not going to reveal anything in this that would say who they are in any kind of way, or whether it's a male or female or whatever. I'm not, it's like that's irrelevant. This is not about the drama aspect of this because I'm not about that at all. Care less. And I hope you all know that's never been me and it never will be, because that is stupid crap that is just stupid crap. And I'm not about that. This is relevant to what I'm talking about. So let me read this, and then I'm going to continue with what I was moving towards a moment ago because it's all ties together. So just an hour ago, I get this message from a person that I haven't heard from in probably a year or so, a person that I really didn't have much of any kind of relationship with at all. Talked to this person a handful of times, shared a few emails, a few ideas. We never worked together in any real capacity of any kind at all. It would have been cool, but that's not anything even close to anything like it is being made out to be. Um, and what I'm getting at with that is that this person does not know me. They don't know who I really am. They don't know if the person that I was a year ago and the way I looked then was me, or the person that I am now and the way I look now is me. Their opinion is that that was me and this is not me. And everybody's got their own opinion of whatever. I don't care. You can have your opinion and I respect your right to it. If you don't like the way I look, if you prefer the way I used to look, that's cool. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. I'm not trying to look like anybody else. I definitely do not, I avoid situations where I am going to be in a position to even have to do anything like that. I'm an Aries entrepreneur business owner. Do you think I'm going to be trying to copy anything anybody else does and that kind of thing? No. I do my thing. That's like ingrained in everything that I am. Like to the nth degree, more so than I want because I can't do anything else. That anything other than that is not natural and does not make sense and compute to me. I don't know what to do. I can only be that way. That's how I am. But anyway, this is the message, and I can't read it all because there'll be little bits and pieces that would give things away, but you'll get the gist of it, okay? All right. So this is a message I get from a person that I haven't spoken to in over a year again, that we never had a verbal conversation ever. It was all digital communication. So, dude, what the F happened to you? You used to be so effing adorable with your short, spiky hair and blonde highlights. Then you went all EA worship mode and you disappeared on me, acting like EA had turned into Lucifer himself in the flesh. People are talking, by the way, saying your latest interactions with him make it look like you are ready to bow down to him like he is Lucifer himself. And I can see why. Mind you, I haven't done anything with the man podcast wise since the 4th of July. What is that, like 3 months ago or something? Yeah, if I worship once a quarter, 4 times a year, maybe she'll have a point. They would have a point. But anyway, you even started modeling yourself after Timothy and took on his ridiculous dreadlock look. You ruined yourself, asshole. Are you a fucking black sheep or what? Bunch of things I can't read. Not big deals, but I just can't. It ends with, if you want to unfriend me, go right ahead. I got big ass balls and I don't care. I just thought I'd mention it. And then it says to stay true to myself. That last part does not in any way, and I shouldn't even have said that. People are going to be like, oh, it's so and so this, so and so that. No, that has nothing to do with anything. That person does not say that. That's not a thing with this person at all. That's just how they chose to end this with a little smiley face. So, what I'm getting at is from the perspective of a person that does not know me, they would look at me and say that I'm not being myself. But I would argue that, in fact, I am finally being myself. I am finally able to have the confidence and to not give two F's about what people think about the way I look. And actually, I have found that my customers treat me even better now than they used to. I wonder what that's about. It's probably an energetic communication thing because I am comfortable with myself now. I've accepted myself now. I have embraced more of who I really am and have allowed myself to express that in my life. And that has got to have an energetic impact on the way that I interact with other people at that level, because I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've witnessed it. There has not been a single person that I have dealt with on a professional level that has been put off in any way with the way that I look. And I will say, for the field that I am in, you'll probably never see somebody that looks like me ever. And when I say looks like me, I mean most of it I'm like alluding to my hair. I know it is a little extreme for the status quo, if you will. It's not what you would expect to see if a professional service provider of some sort is knocking on your door. It is, being paid by your insurance company to do things. It's just not. But it is not holding me back or limiting me in any way at all. Now, if I believed everything that this person just said about me, if I believed that too, then would it limit me? Yeah, because I would be putting out that energetic communication. I'd be putting that out. People would pick up on it. People would sense that there is something I'm hiding. There's something that's not right. There's something that they can't put their finger on. But I don't have that now. When you're finally free to express yourself in the way that you want, in the way that you feel is right and just, and not anywhere based on what anybody else thinks or feels, there is an energetic transition that takes place within you. And it's profound. It really is. And that's over something as simple as hair. I used to always say, too, and this is so crazy, I just came to my mind. I would always tell people that I lived two different lives. That there was the JD that had to go to the office every day and wear the khakis and have the haircut and the machismo and whatever. And then there was the JD that I was when I got away from that. I felt like that I was actually putting on a costume every day and pretending to be somebody else, because I was like, I really was. And I was even saying it, but I was not really, like processing that or digesting it. I wasn't letting that really set into my mind. Like, that's not just words coming out of your mouth, and you're not just saying that to just talk. That's true, man. Think about it. Think about what you just said. You are putting on a costume and pretending to be somebody else every day. And you're doing it at the thing that you spend the most of your time in, out of your 24 hours in every day. You're pretending to be somebody else. And you don't even cognizantly, like consciously realize it. Or if you do, it's messed you up so much you can't even grasp the reality of it. And so through all of those experiences, I have come to realize how important it is to do you. And I'm not saying to go overboard with it as far as not caring about other people and not fulfilling your obligations as it was, as it is regarding other people and your relationships with them and all of that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when it comes down to certain core things that are intimate and personal to you as a sovereign individual that has nothing to do with anybody else. And I don't really care what their relationship is to you. They can be your partner, they can be your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. That, when it comes down to certain things, and those certain things are things about you that only you could ever understand, only you could actually say, no, it's like this and like this because I say it is, because it concerns what is inside of me. Something that you will never, ever understand, no matter how hard you try or no matter what links you go to. The only person that has access to that, and the only person that it actually really even makes a F about, is me. So don't tell me what is this and this and this when it concerns what is in here, because you truly have no idea. Just like I truly have no idea when it concerns other people. People like to act like they know and like they are, um, that they have like a right to have a say or an opinion that is more than just that about certain things regarding you as an individual, but they really do not. And of course, everything is within reason. Everything can be misconstrued and blown out of proportion. Things can be taken to extremes. I mean, if I wanted to be, let's say I decided I want I want to be like a Tyrannosaurus Rex and I want to live my life that way, and I'm going to wear dinosaur skin and fangs and talons and whatever and a big tail and walk around going, "Rawr." It's my right, but would I understand a little bit more when people that are close to me are like, hey, this is really is kind of affecting me now, and can you think about what you're doing? But even at that, it's like, really and truly, even with that extreme example, I mean, aren't we supposed to let each other have, each one of us, the other have what it is that they want at that level of their life, like how they identify, what they feel they are, what they want to look like and dress like, and that kind of thing. Even if it is a dinosaur, or if it's just something totally ridiculously sick or something, from a societal standpoint. I mean, you can take this to the nth degree and argue it a million different ways. And with the stance that I had a moment ago, I was expressing this as that nobody can say anything and that you have the final say, and then you do. But I guess there is a point at which things will impact other people if it gets to like a degree that no one could ever even begin to relate to. But even then, you have the right. But I guess at the same time, when you have that right, you also have potential consequences to deal with as a result of your decisions and your actions, whatever those might be, regarding how people are going to respond to you or what decisions they're going to make for their life, depending that is a result of that decision that you made in yours. So what I'm getting at there is it's a difficult one, but I think everybody owes it to themselves to at least live free for a moment. Like liberate yourself for a little while. Do that thing you've been wanting to do. Get that crazy jacket, those crazy boots, that crazy hairstyle, that off the wall fashion that you've always wanted to combine with who you are and then express that to the world for whatever it means, whatever it's worth. Like just experience what it's like to really like live life on your own terms without the influence of being afraid of what people think. It is very empowering. I think it will really help you and anyone really in more ways than you could ever imagine. And that's not to say that that's the way you'll be forever. You may look one way and you may go back to looking the way you looked 2 years ago at some point. We all change. You look at pictures every 2 or 3 years, 5 years, definitely, we look way different. Style's different. You look at that like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Well, at the time, it meant something to you. It served a purpose. It was all part of the bigger picture, all part of that growing process. I mean, we're always evolving. We're evolving all the time. And we're going to take 3 steps back to take 5 steps forward in a million different aspects of our lives. That's how it is. It's not just, it's going to be, and that's just how it is. But, when life gets too predictable, that's when 10 years pass you by and you just don't even know what happened or what you were doing or why you were doing it. It just, too much of an even keel is going to put you in that state of mind of, like comfortably numb, so to speak. So you need that stimulation, I think. I think we all need that stimulation. We all need that adversarial current in our lives to stimulate us to push forward and to push back and to rise above and rise against. Because would we really do a damn thing if we didn't have it? No. Not after the initial excitement of whatever it is wore off. We all had that little bit of fuel in the beginning of anything. Like, yeah, I'm gonna freaking go all the way to the top, baby. And a month later, you're like, ugh, this is like a lot like work, this or that, whatever. And that's, it's like enter adversary. Let's put something in place to stimulate the situation. Let's provoke him to get back into action. And that's what it's all about. It's not about that person's evil, that adversary is your worst enemy, that person's trying to ruin your life, that person's trying to take everything that you have or anything like that. No. They have a much bigger purpose and they have more importance to you in your life than you could ever imagine as well. They're really your best freaking friend. And that's where it gets really weird. You gotta love them. And I'm not saying you can get close to them though, because that is just not how it's meant to be. That's not gonna work. You can have a healthy respect for one another to some degree, but in many cases, they do want to destroy you. And they enjoy the test of it. They enjoy the challenge. They enjoy a worthy opponent, so to speak. But most of us just look at them as, oh, this freaking MF or piece of crap is just really trying to really like make my life difficult in ways that I really just don't need. No, yes, you do need it. You do need it. You need every little thing that happens. You need it. It's like I was saying one thing the other night in regard to your spiritual path, in regard to working with spirits, first and more than anything else, it's not about getting what you want. It's not about I want to get this. Let me call this demon. I want to get this. Let me call that spirit. I want to get this. I want to sleep with this girl. I want to drive this car. It's not about getting what you want as much as it is about getting what you need. And it just so happens that their way about, going about getting you what you need is can be a very like extended stay 2-month vacation in hell. Not what you signed up for. A lot of people say, well, then you didn't know what you signed up for. Like most people, you didn't read the fine print when you signed on the dotted line. Who does, right? I'm going to keep this cell phone forever. Sign a paper. Freaking idiots. But all of it, all of it, a lot of it just all boils down to your vibration, what you're putting out there, that you don't even know you're putting out there. But it's more important than anything that you are aware of that you're putting out there. That's some of Zazel 101 right there for you, too. Because it is really, most of it is not how you think that it is. It's entirely different. But once you tap into the current of that and wrap your mind around it, it all makes sense. So, in other words, gibbly gobbly goo. That's what I have been saying the whole time. Hopefully, it was a little more substance than that. But I probably could have summed it all up in those 4 words. And this could have been a very short podcast, but maybe I'll just like to hear myself talk too much. But really, actually, I don't, because I hate my voice, but I don't know. Spirits made me do it. That's the only thing that I can say. And I love all you guys. This was another crazy sofa talk where I did not engage with you all like I really wanted to, and I'm sorry. Sometimes, like I was saying before, it's not about either one of us getting what we want. It's or doing what we want. It's all about getting and doing what we need to do. And apparently that is what needed to happen. And that's what went down. What had happened was, so I guess we're just going to make a clean break just like this. It's going to be quick and it's going to be no turning back. I'm not going to linger. I'm not going to read any comments because I can't get sucked in. I love you guys, though. I love all of you. It's late as heck. It's like 3:30 in the morning. So I need to get this boy to bed here. So be on the lookout for the next big event. And when I say big event, I mean everything that you see here. And all the regalia and the fanfare and the and the hoopla. Plenty of hoopla. And there's plenty more where that came from. So come get your fill on the hoopla next time. Same channel, same station, probably on a different day at a different time that will not really have any rhyme or reason of why it's that time. It's just how Aries people do it. That's just how we do it. Intuition on a whim, had an urge, had an itch I had to scratch. Very spontaneous. That's just how it goes. And I'm trying to get more structured so you all can know what to expect, and I can, that's always a good thing. I want you all to have expectations of me. I want to be, um, I want to be predictable as far as when I'm going to be here and what time and what day and all of that stuff. That'd probably be cool. I don't know if y'all would. I don't know. Maybe you would. Half of you would. I don't know, but I'm gonna try. But anyway, Sofa Talk episode 3 will be coming out soon. Other things will be coming out too, and when I know, you'll know. So you got to stay tuned. And I want to thank the awesome, amazing, beautiful moderator, Orly Stewart, mother of Nations herself. Thank you for moderating. Thank you for always being there to take care of that. Please go to her YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Check out her Patreon, Mother of Nations, her website, motherofabominations.com. Magical artwork, ritual for higher services, tarot readings from Become a Living God, living.god.com. She got rituals on from the Ashes Publishing too. So do I. And so do a lot of other awesome practitioners, people that are very, very happy to help you with whatever it is that you need. And that's why I do it. I love to help people. I love to do whatever I can for them. That's just my nature. I don't know. It's weird having that mindset being a black magician because that's not how I should be. I should be me, 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 and whatever I gotta do to get over on you. But that's not how I am. I don't like that. But that's almost expected. You're not a real black magician if you're not manipulative. You're not a real black magician if you won't do whatever it takes. You're not a real black magician if you won't hack down anything and everyone in your path, regardless of whether you really need to or not. You're not a real black magician if you don't play mind games with people. You're not a real black magician if you can't destroy someone mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, all at the same time, while eating a freaking burrito. I don't care about any of that crap, dude. I don't need to concern myself with any of that. I don't. I can get what I want and what I need without having to like maul over someone or waste all my time trying to F with their head and giggle as I watch them go crazy or something. I don't want that. I think more and more that is like what black magic and the stereotypical ideology of, if you will, of a black magician, like it's getting further away from that. And it's getting back to more of like a balance. And it's not this totally self-centered, selfish, uncaring, and seeing every single person in the world, even your friends, as an opponent or as an obstacle or as a potential threat. It does not have to be that way. Things change, things progress, things develop. Will there be situations that may require some of those things? Probably. May there be times that you have to do things like that? Probably. But that does not have to be what you lead with. That doesn't have to be how you live every moment and second of your life. But with that being said, if that is what you want to do, then you've got the right to do it. And who am I to judge you? Whatever. But I'm not going to really want to be involved. I don't want to be friends with somebody that I know would view me as a potential threat, as an opponent, when it's not even any competition whatsoever. I'm your friend because I'm your friend. I'm not your friend just so you can get the information you need from me as your opponent to defeat me. And like, this is not, the art of war. It's not. Friendship still exists, love still exists, loyalty and truth and trust still exist. Of course, we can all break some of those every now and again and bend them and make mistakes and whatever, but it is not how we have to be. That's that ruthless black magician stuff. Of course, I'm going to do whatever it takes if the situation demands it, from a self-preservation standpoint, or to take care of somebody else I care about, whatever the case may be. But it's not my first go-to. It's not like the hair trigger reaction that I have to everything. I do believe that very quite possibly living your life that way will destroy you. You won't have to worry about those opponents and all those people that you're trying to take out because you got to do it before they do it, because you're all black magicians. Just a matter of time before they're going to come for you. Sure, you're having a Sunday dinner with them this week, but they're going to freaking stab you in your sleep next Saturday. I mean, I just couldn't imagine living that way. Never having a real friend that I could say like really cares about me. Maybe they do, but knowing that I don't, because I don't view them or value them as anything but obstacles and appliances and targets to destroy. That's crazy, man. That's sad. But anyway, wherever that tangent came from, I was trying to sign out, and sometimes it just can't happen, but it's going to happen. It's 3:39, and that is the time that I decided on before I started this. And that time has come. And before that time passes, I'm going to push the button. I love you guys. See you on the flip side.